so I'm doing okay with the car, and I'm very happy.
I'm Sharad, and I'm the proud owner of this red Polo GT TSI. My car is done around 75,000 and I'm superbly happy about it. So this one is a petrol. I bought this in 2013 and towards the end of 2013. And this one is a 1200cc, 103 bhp and 175 torque vehicle of mine. It's a 7-speed DSG gearbox, which makes the ride pretty smooth and keeps the name up for it as a Polo GT. Though I'm not too much of a mileage person since the time I got this, but on a very basic figure, I can tell that this gives me a mileage of around 10-11 in the city. And once I actually move out on the highway, I get about 13-14. But this car goes really beyond the whole mileage. I do have another car on me. When I really want to dig into the mileage, I go into that. But this one is pure driving pleasure. And I actually went out to buy this car. So at that time, I had options around the Verna, and I was also looking into the Honda City. But my elder brother, he told me about the Polo GT, and this is the only hot hatch right now, and in that kind of a price segment. So my elder brother was after my life to get this. So when I actually went in to buy this, I was not very sort of kicked about it, because I am a design guy. For a bit, I thought, this just looks like the same old Polo. They haven't worked on the externals a lot, I mean, what will be really special here? I was a bit ticked off at that time when my elder brother told me to get this car. But slowly, as I drove it more and more, I sort of realized that this is quite the only hot hatch in India sort of to buy, and with that kind of a price tag on it, I think you can't get anything better. And I actually slowly fell in love with this car, It was a very slow driven affair, but it's a long lasting bond. When I went in for my second or third service, I had to get the brake shoes changed. That's when the guy at the service told me, sir, when you're driving a automatic, I know it's good fun driving an automatic, but you have to be a little calm on the brakes. If you are an owner of a good car, a good German car, you don't drive it like an idiot. Super fast brake. No, you don't do that, because that damages the brake shoes. So I was just a brand new owner of a nice DSG gearbox. So I used to zip it up a lot and zip it, break it, and that zipping and braking actually costed me the brake shoes. I had a tough time during the service because I had messed up the whole mechatronics of the gearbox, so that part had to be changed.
What did you do to mess it up?
Because I was new to driving a good automatic car, and you're not supposed to keep your brake on all the time. You're supposed to shift to neutral. So, guys who drive good cars know that, So I was new to it. So I was told this later by the showroom guys that, sir, when you drive something like that, you don't keep it always on a brake, You shift to neutral. So that was the thing, that the mechatronics was engaged all the time. That's why it got messed up, and it was an expensive component. Yeah, it was for around 1.5 lakhs. Yeah, but they gave me a good discount. Volkswagen always does that, because if you raise your voice, they always give you a bit of a discount. So I raised hell, obviously. I got a bit of a discount. They gave me that mechatronics part for around 60. Yeah, and that came all the way from Germany, and it made my car new again. So that was one thing. But yeah, every year I end up spending around 20-25k just on the service. It goes once a year for the whole service thing. And yeah, parts are expensive, no doubt. But the guys are good. Like, the guys try to work in a very German manner. So they are getting there, but it's expensive to maintain. Yeah, definitely. There's one good thing about the guys at Volkswagen. Once I had left my pen drive in my car, okay? These guys came back after a week to give it to me. Sir, this is your pen drive. I mean, he must have spent more on the fuel than the cost of the pen drive. So that was the nice part about their service. It wasn't painful. It's actually more expensive for that matter, and you have to haggle a lot with the whole pricing. Like, in terms of, if they tell you that some of your components have to be changed, they're going to cost you 30,000, and then one fine morning, if you're having your breakfast and the guy from service calls you 30k, then that's where bad service starts from. So that's when you start arguing, and if he doesn't give you the good price, you go to the showroom, you argue some more, then you get a 5-6k discount. So for me, it was more around the pricing and the kind of haggling I have to do over a weekend. In case of part availability, when my mechatronics had got messed up, my car was in the showroom for about a month and a half. Yeah, so that was nasty. Now, I just remembered that, as you said, because the part was again imported all the way. And once my AC had conked off, again the car was in the showroom for around 8 to 10 days. The AC had conked off around 4 years after me actually getting it. And I think the mere testing of the AC, whether it was working or not, that only took a while. Because they actually tell me that, they have this system where they connect the car to the main CPU. It does a thorough diagnosis, and after the diagnosis, they'll actually tell you what is really wrong with the car. So at times, small things take a long time, but I think that is because of the kind of process and the build quality and the kind of product that Volkswagen is giving you. It's not meant for India, it's not meant for the Indian consumer. You have to enjoy driving and really not worry about nitty-gritty. So I'm talking about the comfort from the perspective of someone who's 6'2", right? I don't fit in, okay? I just don't fit in. I have to keep the seat all the way to the back. So this is a car which is meant for one person to drive. If you're 6'2", only one guy can drive this. Someone can sit right there, so it becomes more like a sports car for that matter, like a sports two-seater. But back seat, no one can really sit. It's very tight. My family is equally tall like me. They can't fit into this. So I zip it around, it's good. The comfort is a big low here. It doesn't really work. Especially even once I actually sit inside, the way the whole seat is positioned, it keeps me locked in there, It doesn't give me that much of freedom. I've had a very tough time getting in and getting out.
So if you could show it to us.
It's so funny. If you want to see that, I fix my jeans. Okay. I go inside like that. See? Now this is where my legs are. Okay. The day I bought this, I was very happy that this thing goes up and down, but forget it. It always stays up. My whole check has been like, if I can just clasp my knees, I think it's actually decent space. This part here, this part of the console, this has been really helpful for me in actually keeping the leg here. When I bought this car, I would have not bought it because of this reason. Because of this whole piece here, I would have thought that, okay, this is not giving me too much space. But then, you get used to it. And for the fun driving pleasure of the car, I think it's pretty good a position. But yeah, getting in and out is a nightmare. I can show you how I get out also. I have this little Spider-Man way of getting out, so it's very funny. See, I go there. Yeah. So it's not cool. Like this thing that I'm doing, it's just not cool. I think in terms of the whole design of the seat and the way you have your thigh support and your bolstering, I think Volkswagen has done a pretty good job. On the ergonomic scale, the whole seating comfort is really good. You don't really get too tired, and the way it sort of holds you like that, like a child, So that's a good example of good ergonomics that Volkswagen is taken care of. So I think that runs in the pedigree. Headroom, very less. I think I have around. This is what, 3 inches. So I have around 3 inches of headroom, which is not much.
Front seat, getting in and getting out rating.
2.
Front,
2 over 5.
Front seat comfort rating.
3.5. Circus starts.
Yeah.
So now that's the area I have to fit myself in. So I wear size 12. Okay. So size 12 feet go in there. Then I actually come like that. So I'm jailed. Okay. So this is jail treatment for someone who is 6'2". So if you're 6'2", it makes sense to have only this seat in the car and just take off everything, literally. Legroom is insane. I mean, since I can move my legs so much, just a joke. But then there is no legroom that I have.
How's the suspension of the car?
Terrible.
Please tell me. Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. I have heard from my friends, there is a Volkswagen, there is the Polo duck sound. So that duck sound is because of the suspension only. So I've been told by my friends that, you can just get the suspension tweaked a little bit so you won't get that duck, over a bumper duck. You will not get it. My mom had such a tough time in the back seat, okay? She used to literally jump whenever there was any speed breaker. And she had such a tough time in the back seat because it was a 9-hour journey that we did on this car. The suspension is not good at all. 2 over a scale of 5.
Overall comfort rating.
3.
Front and back put together.
2.75. Yeah. So see, this car is only for the front seat driver. That's it. This car is not for like 3-4 people. No, if you're buying it for your family, then this is not a very smart choice. If you're buying it for yourself or your wife or your son who just wants to zip a small car in the city, go for it.
Let's talk about the AC of the car.
Oh, damn good. This has very good climate control, you know. That's one thing that I really like about this car.
Okay.
The climate control is bang on. I rarely have to fiddle around with the settings. It really is sensitive to the outside temperature and gives me the right temperature when I stay inside. And that's a big deal when you're staying in a place like Delhi and you've just spent about 9.5 lakhs on a car.
Okay, so front cooling is good.
Yeah.
What about the rear seat cooling?
I think the AC is powerful enough to make the people at the back non-sweat. There is a very good balance of lines that the whole Volkswagen family has actually maintained throughout all its cars. The good part is, why doesn't the Polo get old? The Polo doesn't get old because if you see the entire balance of the lines, the way it comes all the way, goes here and then goes all the way like that. This results in a very balanced design. A design that doesn't get old. That's what makes the Polo iconic. And that's the precise reason that the Volkswagen guys haven't even worked on a facelift. They do facelift, which is just like in the grill or the back. It's hardly a facelift. I can do that kind of a facelift in my workshop also. But it's okay. You guys have a damn good product, you know. A very good balance of lines all the way from the back to the front. Like if you see this, you know, this is the line which is really important for the entire design fraternity, because this actually specifies the entire language of the car. It's not really bending around, it's just going all the way to the back. And yeah, this is what gives the Polo iconic form. From the front, I have seen this. I've been seeing this in so long, you know. I am a little bit. I wanted a refresh. I've been dying to get a Polo refresh, but I've not been able to find anything. You know, they haven't worked on it. I don't know why. Such a nice car, but you still make it look the same way. Are you saving on tool cost? I don't know. So yeah, some of the parts I like about the design are more at the back, the way it comes out. About the front, I just see, okay, it's the same old thing again. This part of the whole front, which will actually make me think twice about buying it again. If I want to buy another hatch, it would be a Polo GT for sure, but only if they change some things about the exterior. It needs a heavy facelift. A good amount of Botox needs to go into this car. You know, all the wrinkly lines need to go. It's an older aesthetic. And I used to have more hair on my head when this thing came out. You know, so it's like that. I think the design brief must be such that make us a design which we don't have to change for 20 years. You know, so the team must have worked really hard. But sir, this will not go old, and guys like me will get pissed. You know, by a very academic design standard, if I see it on a scale of 5, I would rate it 4. When it comes to Polo, when it comes to Volkswagen, all their cars have a certain sense of class. The good part about the dash, the way I see it, is it is a very balanced interior. Like how the exterior is, a very balanced exterior where all the shoulder lines and the A-pillars are all nicely balancing into the front grille. Same is the case here. A very balanced set of individuals on this whole media console, if I may call it. Right. So if you see this, very nice soft rectangular shapes put there, and in between that I have the vent control nicely sort of spaced in. Then again comes a bigger rectangle and a smaller rectangle inside, and a slightly smaller rectangle here and a bigger one right here. If you see, the whole language of this unit is a reverse of this one, you know. So that's how, so they actually have paid some very good attention to detail when it comes to designing the components. Once you actually move on the attention from here to here, again, the whole touch and feel of the on-steering control is beautiful. It is very responsive. It fits in very well with the drive, with the driving experience. Again, the sense of balance is great. Perfect concentric circles going in to actually form the branding here. So a very good balance of this and this. There are no mixed up lines. Like the interior design rating is a 4/5. Regarding the safety, in terms of airbags, it has 2 airbags. One is on the left and one is right here in the steering. There are no airbags on the door on this sort of spec at least. Braking goes in very well with the handling actually. You know, that's the thing about braking, because just normal flat out brakes does not really cut it out. So if I'm going like this, now I go slow, because there's always something or the other coming in front of me. I prefer my family in this car. If my car is colliding into trucks and my family is safe inside, that's 9.5 lakhs well spent. Yeah? You know, that's when it doesn't hurt. Let's talk about the build quality. I was on the road once with my elder brother, so I tried to act smart with a truck, and you never act smart with trucks, right? So I tried that fatal mistake, and the truck came right into this door, and my brother was inside. My brother was completely safe. We couldn't even open the door out, but the whole quality was that my brother didn't get a scratch. So I was really happy about the way this car is built, the entire quality of the sheet metal, the way it is bent and the way it's kept in form. It really keeps everyone safe. When I actually come in the front, the good part here is that even the bumper is pretty strong. I have a few dents here, like my dog has actually sort of gnawed on this whole thing, but it doesn't really matter because this bumper can take in a lot of shit, you know. 6 years down the line and this is the state of the bumper. Yeah, nothing has happened to it. And this is being driven in Delhi NCR, so that's completely fine. The rest of it is also sort of fine for that matter.
Build quality rating on the outside 5.
3.5. In terms of the fit finish that you get here, it is a complete knockout. Like even if you take a normal guy's hand and if you just bang it onto the board, you know, it doesn't vibrate. Here, everything is tightened up very well. And if I can say that for a car, even after 6 years of like buying it, like I know that, you know, nothing is moving in place. So a very good fit. In terms of fit, yeah, they have nailed it. It's like pretty bang on.
How about the paneling gaps? How about the
Constant.
rattling and squeaking and all that thing?
Yeah, there is no squeaking. My Polo has hardly any squeaking. I think there is zero squeaking. In terms of the gaps also, which are actually sort of there amongst all the parts in the console, and the gaps are constant. So in terms of uniformity, I think they've done a pretty good job.
Build quality rating inside.
4.5.
Convince me not to buy this car.
Huh? Not to buy this. Are you a Maruti owner? If you are a Maruti owner, you like Honda City and all, you will not buy it. You won't buy it because then it's a different psyche. You know, like I have also had like Maruti. I am a very sasta consumer. Okay, by my whole, you know, being. But if you're a Maruti guy, you won't buy it. If you're a Honda City guy, I want a lambi gaadi and all that. That's not your deal. But if you're a guy who has a taste for cars, if you have that 10%, 20% taste of cars, and you take this out for a spin one day, you'll look around for it like a Yamaha RX100. Yeah. So guys, if you have loved my review, if you have liked it, I think you would have. Like it, subscribe it, hit the bell icon.
Thank you so much.